Hello and welcome to our monthly market update. My name is Masood, Vatandoust broker with the Vatandoust search team. And as usual, I'm here with Doug Sears, my partner. And we're going to go over the numbers for the month of October that were just released by Toronto Real Estate Board and Durham Real Estate Board as far as the house prices and house sales in Durham Region. So Doug, take over and let's go look at the numbers.
All right. So our first chart here is number of homes sold in Durham Region. There were 632 homes sold in October, and that's in compared to 662 homes sold last month, which is a decrease of about 4.5%. And that is, though, 35.4% lower than the 10-year average of 979. And you can see last year we had 1047 sold. So it was a much stronger, obviously, last year at this time of year. And the next, looking at average prices, the average selling price in Durham Region for October was $893,673, which is a decrease of 2.3% when compared to the average last month of 915. Although it's pretty similar to July's number, just slightly below that. So this price point now, over the last 4 months, is fairly consistent with last year, beginning sort of in February through till August. So that's kind of where we are in the market. As well, the average days on market for homes that are listed actually decreased a little bit this month to 26 days from 29 days last month. And when we look at the ratio of sold to new listings, there were 1,183 new listings in October, which is really about the same number last month. So there's a certain stability in the number of new listings coming onto the market. And when we combine that with the number of homes sold, the ratio of sold to new listings decreases slightly to 53.4%. So this is just still right, sort of smack dab in the middle of a balanced market. And that's actually a good thing. So that's it for the charts. And the market is certainly interesting right now. We've seen buyers pull back. We've seen the price declines. We're also seeing sellers pulling back. And that's why we're into this balanced market, is the pullback on both buyers and sellers have been somewhat proportionate. And so it's actually kind of stabilized somewhat. Bringing a little bit of, I'm going to call it calmness into the market, but the number of homes sold is very low. So it's also just a very slow market.
And that is somewhat seasonal this time of year. Generally, the market slows down. And then a big factor as well is the interest rate increases that we've seen from beginning of this year, consistently going up with the last 0.75% increase, and the prediction that as much as it might, the rate of increase might slow down, but there is still going to be more increases coming. So
yeah, and hopefully that will peak soon, because I believe that is going to be the trigger, if you want to call it that, for buyers to sort of regain some confidence and willingness to come back into the market. And I think once buyers start to come back, then sellers will realize, okay, now we can sell. And so it'll be sort of both sides. I think buyers first, then sellers second. But at the same time, we'll see that demand kind of come back into the market, because the underlying imbalance between supply and demand hasn't gone away. It's still there. It's just that everybody stepped back. So we'll see how that unfolds. One thing that we've just kind of noticed over the last week is sort of the whole listing strategy of listing a home at a low price and then holding off offers and having an offer presentation night like 4 or 5 days later, which had largely left the market with just a couple of exceptions at the very low end of the market. But over the last week or so, we've been seeing that this is starting to creep back into the market. At this point, it's very early. We don't know how extensive it's going to kind of reach into the market, how long it's going to last. I think the challenge, and I've talked with a couple of the agents that have started doing this again, and it's just that traffic is so slow. Now agents are trying to do whatever they can to get people into the homes, trying to trigger getting some offers. And so that's what's kind of got this sort of ball rolling again. And so we are seeing that. It'll be interesting to see, like I say, how much it's going to be used or how effective it's going to be. Even at a minimum, if it's just enough to sell a home quicker, not necessarily, increase prices from a competitive perspective, you're having multiple offers driving up a price, as long as they're able to sell the house in, 5, 7, 10 days versus 20, 25, 30 days. So we'll see how that unfolds.
Yeah, and it's somewhat determined by the seller's urgency to sell the home as well, and how quickly they want to basically get a buyer interested in the property. So, and that's what we say all the time, that every case is different, and our job is to evaluate the buyers and sellers' position and requirements, and then tailor make the process or the strategy to match their needs and so on. So that's something that we, in a one-on-one discussion, we can determine what the urgency is and whether it needs to go at a lower price to create a multiple offer and a quicker sale, or go at the market value and wait for the right buyer to come along. Yeah. So on that note, if you are thinking of selling or buying, please give us a call, and we'll be happy to sit down and determine your requirement and go from there and advise you accordingly. So take care until next month, and keep safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.